It's all overgrown. So when we first had this article, well, I say it was 20 years ago, maybe, yeah, about 20 years ago, I say. We've cleaned it up, yeah.
Right, okay, I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight. I'd like to welcome you. And we had to postpone it twice, once because of the shark collection in Arthur, which was really good. And I'm told there's a talk on tomorrow night on the O'Donnells and their DNA profile by Hugh O'Donnell from Notre Dame in Arthur, down in the archaeological place down in Dwell, the archaeological school. It's reason down. What time does that start at? 8 o'clock, yeah, okay. So they're all been very interesting. I just had a little bit of a video going there because Saoirse Daly gave the talk on the shark fishing, and hopefully we'll get her next year to come and give a talk here because I thought it was really interesting. And she had a video of the slides looping before, so I thought I'd try and see how it worked. A couple of things before we start. We mentioned at the committee meeting there a while ago that it might be nice to have a trip during the summertime. We had a trip to the Irish American Folk Park in Omagh one year, and then another year we went to Strokestown, and where else did we go to? Rathcronan, where the Kings of Connacht were elected. So if anybody has any, we're sending around the list. If you can put your email on it, we'll keep you notified of any future meetings. And if you have any ideas about what might be a nice trip in the summertime, you can go. It's really interesting going out, and it's a nice social occasion. I did a little bit of research about 3 weeks ago, and I decided to go to Newport to decide where we have our trip. But it wasn't Newport County Mayo, it was Newport Tipperary. And there's a really interesting historical society down there. And one of the pillars of the Newport Historical Society, believe it or not, is a retired vet. So they have a few things in common with us. That's about it. If you have ideas for lectures next year, get back to me, reply to me on the email that I'll send around to you, and ideas for the summer if you'd like to have. Hopefully next year we'll have about 3 or 4 lectures during the winter time, and we're working at the moment on doing some commemoration for the War of Independence and 1916. We're debating about whether we go as far as the Civil War. We've had a split on that, like, so as you'd expect. But we've got a bit of money left over from when we were up and running. We had the magazines back at home, so we'd like to erect some plaques so people would know, say, the Statue of Ned Lyons, what that's all about, and visitors would come and they'd see it and they'd say, what's that all about, So explain it a little bit more, and there's quite a lot of other places in the parish and outside the parish that it would be nice to put some informative flags on. So I think that's that. Joe McDermott he said he's sorry he can't come because he's down in Galway, and Mary Kelly, the president, the chairperson, she's in Galway as well, so she couldn't come. So I have to introduce myself, and it gives me a chance to say some really nice things about myself. Go on, and we'll talk about George O'Donnell, Frederick Thomas O'Donnell. He was the last of the O'Donnells in Newport, and as you can see from the date of his death, he was only just 30 when he died. He died the 16th of June. He'll be dead 100 years next month, and I thought it was a suitable topic for election. I've been doing a bit of research over the last 10 years into who he was, and it was only recently that I was able to find a picture of him, even though he died in 1916, 15, and you'd have thought that there would have been plenty of photographs, but I only find 1 or 2 of them. We actually went over to look to see the exact place where he died, and his body was never found, so he's commemorated on what's called the Mendon Gate, where people were commemorated that the bodies weren't found. If the bodies were found, they were buried, and there was a marker put up over their grave to say where they were. Some of you may have seen in the annual last year, I wrote an article of all the people in the parish that had died. There was 19 people from the parish that died. They didn't all die in the British Army. Some of them died in the Australian Army, some of them died in the Canadian Army, some of them died in the United States Army. So there was quite a lot of people. I'm not going to mention all the people here tonight. I'm going to concentrate just on George Frederick Thomas O'Donnell. And the reason his name is so, he's got O'Donnell in it twice, is because his surname actually is Thomas hyphen O'Donnell. There should be a hyphen in there. And his